Hey everyone, it's Laura from the blog ourearlyhouse.com, and today I'm going to be talking about my top tips to keeping a organized and minimalist home. So just the other day I was talking to my sister and we were kind of talking about my YouTube channel and just the direction that I want to go with it. I definitely noticed that certain videos that I post get a lot more views than other videos, and so I'm trying to really like zone in and figure out exactly what you and all my subscribers want to watch here on my channel. So she said a good thing to think about is to think about things that really interest me and things that I am good at, or things that I have, I don't know, knowledge in, I guess, or things that I also like to do and things I like to watch. Because most likely I have attracted an audience that's similar to myself because you guys are here watching me. So she told me to like think about different things like that I like to share on, maybe things that I could give tips on, such things like that. And so I was thinking about organization because ever since I was a little kid, I've always been an organized person, and I've always thought of like good systems to kind of keep things organized. And a lot of that just comes naturally. I guess it's just part of my personality. So over the last couple of weeks when I've been thinking about this and thinking about things that I could easily share on, one of the things that popped to my mind was organization, because like I said, I do like things to be really organized. We're pretty minimal about the amount of things that we have in our home, and I think that that really helps. So I started to just kind of compile a list in my phone on paper and just putting all these tips together that I have to help you if you are trying to organize, or if you're someone that wants to become an organized person. Because sometimes if you aren't organized and you don't have like the mindset, you can go and you can organize everything, but it's just gonna get right back to messy because you don't have these simple systems in place to keep things organized. So I'm gonna share my tips or secrets or whatever you want to call it with you for keeping our house organized, even with a large family of 7. So my first tip, and this is something that I have been doing for a very long time, and it's something that I don't even think about doing anymore, but I have shared it with some other people and they're always like, oh my gosh, that's just brilliant, that's the best idea. I don't even know how I thought of this or why I do this, but I keep bins in my van or like crates. They're actually milk crates in my van. I have 2 of them. One milk crate is for donations and one milk crate is for things that belong to other people. I find that if I have something in my home that someone maybe left or something that I borrowed, if I don't put it straight out into my van, that I forget to return it, and it also starts to kind of get cluttered, and I also might just put it in with my own things and forget that I even borrowed it from someone. So that is something that I've been doing, like I said, for a very long time. And as soon as there's something in my house that I notice doesn't have a place, or something that we're not really using, or something that I just want to donate, I bring it straight out to the van and I put it into that milk crate. And I find that doing that helps me to get it to the place that it needs to be. So if it needs to go to Goodwill or to a family member in need or a friend, it's there and it's ready to go for when I like drive away. It's in my van. It also helps to keep just clutter and things out of the house. So if you have anything that you want to donate or something that belongs to someone else, just put it out in the car or the van. Like I said, I have milk crates in there. You can use some plastic tubs, just anything to keep it organized out in your van or your vehicle to get it to where it belongs and avoid putting clutter and things into your house. Okay, my next tip is to only keep things that you need. Like I said, am pretty minimal. We have what we need in the house, but we don't have any extra. So I am not one to have tons of extra things in my home that we don't use. Pretty much everything that's in our home is something that we're using daily or weekly, or something that we use often and something that we need. I more err on the side of, if it's something that I don't think we'll need, I would rather get rid of it to get rid of the clutter and then buy it later on if we do end up needing it. Now I know that can be wasteful if you do that a lot with things, especially if it's something that's expensive, but I find that the stress and the clutter of it being in my home outweighs the benefit of just having it here if we need it. So If there is something that I noticed that we haven't used in a long time, if there's a toy that a kid's not playing with, a tool in the garage that we're not using, I will just get rid of it. I will either, like I said, donate it, give it to somebody. You can even sell it on Facebook Marketplace to make a little extra money, depending on what it is. But if it's something that we're not using, my biggest tip is just to get rid of it. Another thing that you can do for this to make it a little bit easier is you can have a bin and maybe like a Tupperware or something in your basement, and if it's something that you wear or that you think you're gonna wear, just put it into the bin. Or maybe it's a kitchen gadget that you think you're gonna use, put it in the bin, put the lid on it, put it in the basement. If you don't go back to that bin within like 6 months or maybe a year, then just get rid of it. Don't even look in the bin, just get rid of it. And I say that tip because some people have a harder time with getting rid of things. That is not my personality. I am more on the side of like getting rid of things and later on be like, oh shoot, I wish I had that, I should have kept that. But if you have that personality where it's hard to get rid of something, put it in the bin, put the lid on, stash it away, and then whenever you go back to it in like 6 months, don't even open it, just take it straight to Goodwill and get rid of it. That's a great way to declutter. You can also do something where you get rid of one thing each day or clean out like a section of something each day, like a drawer or a cabinet or a closet. Purge the things that you don't use because our homes are filled with so many things that we don't use. Now, when you have a family and you're not the only one in your home, you have to be a little bit mindful of this. There are definitely things that I feel like my husband could get rid of, but he likes to keep, and the same that goes for my kids. And so of course, I'm not gonna get rid of all of their things. It has to be kind of a mutual decision. Thankfully, my family is pretty on board and we're kind of similar in the things that we like to keep and okay with getting rid of things. But I do find that just having extra things just clutters up the house. It makes it really hard to organize when you have too much stuff in your home. So my third tip kind of goes off of that one. Make sure that everything has a place. So when you go to a closet and you're putting things in there, find a place for each thing in there, even if it has to be something that's hanging up, in a bin, in a drawer. Every single thing needs to have a place. And if everything has a place, it makes it much easier to put it away the next time that you go and use it. You have a place for it where you know where to put it away. So I find that when everything has a place, this is also a really great way to keep your house organized if you have a larger family or you have multiple people living in your home. If someone uses the scissors, we know exactly where the scissors go when they're done and they have to go back there. Now, if you don't have an exact place for the scissors, they could easily get lost. Somebody can put them in one place and then you could put them in another place and then they get lost because we don't know where they go. But if everything has a place, it is easier to stay organized and to keep things where they belong. And everybody can kind of stay on board with that because everyone knows where that place is. So like I said, the first part of this step is the tip where only keep the things that you need. And if you only have what you need, you should be able to find a place for everything in your home. The fourth tip that I have written down in my little notebook is fix layout. And what I meant by that is that sometimes there are some things that you have organized, and if it's not in the correct layout, let's say for example in your kitchen, and you have cups maybe away from where you would get water, and your pots and pans are not next to the stove. So things aren't really in the best order, and it's gonna make it harder to stay organized because you're more likely to, when after you use your oven mitt to get something out of the stove, if the drawer isn't right there to put your oven mitts in, you're more likely just to leave them on the counter or stuff them in a drawer that is close because the drawer is over on like the other side of the kitchen. Now I know that sounds silly because it's all in one room, but I find this to happen all the time with other people when I talk about this. Sometimes if you just fix the layout of where things are and it makes more sense of how it's set up, it'll make it much easier to stay organized. So think about this while you're going through your home. When you walk in your house, is there a place to hang your keys in your purse and put your shoes? Because if there's not a place there, they're just gonna get strung over the floor, things are gonna get lost and unorganized. Then as you come in, is there a place when you bring in groceries to put everything as you're in your groceries? So in your pantry, do you have a shelf for canned goods, potatoes, whatever it is that you're buying? If you have places for all of these things, and the layout is set the right way, it's gonna make it really, really easy to put things away and stay organized. Because the biggest thing about organization is doing just a little bit at a time to keep your home running smoothly. And that goes right into my next tip. During the day, have like several time blocks blocked out to do small little cleanups. These don't have to be deep cleans where you're pulling out the Windex through the windows. I'm talking about 1 to 3 minutes just to put things away, to get organized. So don't save everything for just the end of the day or at the end of the week or something like that. So I just find that if I just do 1 to 2 minutes of cleaning after breakfast, or 1 to 2 minutes before nap time, 1 to 2 minutes after nap time, just several times throughout the day, we just kind of go through, put everything back away, reorganize the kitchen, do the dishes, put the dishes away. It helps us to stay on top of things if we just take it into little pieces at a time. Now, my last tip, and probably the most important tip, is to keep it simple. If you don't make your organization systems simple, it is going to make it really hard to keep up with it. If you are the type of person that likes to write things out, you can write out a little schedule of when you're gonna have your mini cleanups. You can label things, or if you were a person that likes just major simplicity like I do, it's some things that are just kind of like built into your day, but we just know if we have less, we can stay organized better. I know if we do small amounts throughout the day, we can be organized better, but just have your systems in place and make sure they are so simple so it's something that you don't want to give up on. If you are starting from a place where maybe your home is really disorganized, you have a ton of extra stuff, maybe it's time to really get in and start doing this, start with a small thing first to make it doable, because if you try to do too much at one time, it is going to make the job seem daunting and dreadful, and you'll probably never actually do it. So make sure that your systems are very simple and something that's doable and actually something that you can accomplish. So those are my top tips on organizing. Stay tuned to the channel because we, if you didn't know, just moved into this home, and I am going through and I'm starting to organize the different rooms in my home. And I'm gonna start with my kitchen, because in our kitchen we have a lot of different spots that you can put different things. And so I really had to think about the layout and how I wanted things. And so I'm gonna kind of be doing, I guess, like a little mini series on organization, taking you through the different rooms of my home and showing you how we are going to organize it. So stay tuned for that. And if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I get out 2 new videos every single week. And if you have been around for a while, like I said, I'm trying to kind of figure out exactly what you guys want to watch. And so let me know down in the comments below what type of videos you enjoy from me. I know everybody likes my cooking videos, so I plan to continue to do a lot of cook with me's, what we eat in a week, what we eat in a day type videos. But if there's some different things that you want to see, let me know down in the comments below and I can get that added to my schedule. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.